This is madness. It's a 2. It's a 3.
Whoa!
Are we recording?
Let's just leave that for a little bit and see. Let's come back to it, but trying to record because Tim can cut all that out. I've got plenty of storage on there.
And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Roll the intro.
Evening, officer. Is something wrong?
Just keep your hands where I can see them. Routine traffic stop. We got reports of someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
No, I'm only under one influence.
What's that?
The influence of Jesus.
It's time for Under the Influence.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
And welcome back to another episode of the Under the Influence podcast. This is episode 3. You're watching or hearing us for the first time. Welcome. And I'm here as one of your hosts, Byron Thiessen, followed by my brother,
Levi Thiessen.
and my best friends.
Jerry Crane.
Jude Crane.
They might not be hearing this for the first time.
Oh, they could be hearing it for another time, though. So if you
Another
were
time.
returning,
It could be the 51st time.
That's
Because this
true.
is our 51st episode.
Wait, is this
Is it really
actually
51st?
51?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why you stayed around so long, but thanks.
Yeah, I don't either. Especially with this energy. So, 51 episodes.
51.
Yeah.
51.
48 for the first 2 seasons, and then this is episode 3 of season 3, so 51.
pretty cool.
Feels
I
like
can do
episode
math.
4 of season 3.
What? No, it's not.
Feels like it, though.
Doesn't, though. For Levi, it probably feels like, oh, Levi's back.
Yeah.
He's
It
here.
feels like episode 2. Season
For you.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, we missed you, buddy.
Yeah.
How was your short prison stint?
It was fun.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. Probably shouldn't say that.
That you can enjoy your time spent
In prison?
in prison.
Yeah, like
You get to like read the Bible.
meditate a lot.
You can read the Bible without going to prison, Levi.
Yeah, but you don't have all of the outside world. Like, you just have a smaller inside world.
So, if anything, it means more if you read the Bible outside of prison. Well, you have more outside pressure trying to stop you. It means you're a better Christian if you read the Bible outside of prison. Because it's easier if you're in prison.
Yeah, yeah, that
You
makes
got
sense.
me there.
Yeah, I got you.
You got me there.
A
Obviously, we're
persecuted
joking.
Christian has it easier. Yeah, you would put them
The
two together well.
persecuted Christian has it easier?
The persecuted
I
Christian.
said that
has
the
it easier.
persecuted Christian has it harder. Oh, you think you're more persecuted?
Persecuted.
You think you're more
Persecuted?
persecuted if you're in prison?
I mean,
Perhaps yes.
Yeah, probably.
That could be
I
the
think
reason you're in
almost
prison.
certainly. What a great start, guys. Let us know if you're in prison. Are you more persecuted than we are? Persecuted
It could be the reason
Persecuted?
why you're in prison.
because they were persecuted.
Because of your
they
faith.
were
That's true.
persecuted.
I guess we are just thinking about the American prison system, which would be pretty strange if someone was put in prison for being persecuted. But outside of America,
All our listeners in North Korea.
we have a ton of Chinese Christian influence, under the influence listeners. I mean,
Absolutely.
no,
Unless-
actually, we kind of do.
The Chinese Communist Party is listening. In which case,
There's no one in
there's
China listening.
none.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
There's
thought you were referring to
none.
them, saying, like, unless they're the ones in China listening, then there's none.
No. Unless
We did just recently pass 8,000 podcast downloads, which we should thank you guys for.
That's awesome.
I saw that this week before we recorded the last one. Man, why am I so loud? Before we recorded the last one. And I think that's really, really cool. For obvious reasons. I mean, that's huge. We have over 50 episodes out now by the time you're seeing this one. And our other podcast of Lore and Legend just passed 500 downloads.
Wow.
Which is kind of surprising because that one, I've always been like, man, that one doesn't get a lot of attention, which is fair. It's a lot longer form. I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this yet. Of Lore and Legend, we certainly haven't talked about it on the podcast. If you search Christian D&D podcast We are the #1 search result on Google.
That's awesome.
Dang,
that cool?
That's actually super cool.
Yeah. So I think it's because in our description on Buzzsprout, the first like 4 words, 3 of them are those words: Christian D&D podcast.
Yeah.
So or it's like in the first 5 words or something, because I think it says official Christian influence D&D podcast. You know, so but somebody joined the Discord a few weeks ago, and usually when people join, I try and ask like, hey, you know, welcome. What brings you to the Discord? And the guy was like, oh, I just, you know, Googled Christian D&D podcast. I found your guys's, which he didn't say it was first. I was like, oh, that's really cool that he found it. He's like, yeah, and I found your guys's, and then I listened to the first episode, and in that episode you say to join the Discord, so I figured why not? And I was like, this is so cool. It's super cool when we have people join the community from one of these podcasts, because that's part of why we do it, is to kind of, this one is like a kind of a voice for the community in a lot of ways, but also it's a potential way of reaching out to people and getting them to join. But from the D&D podcast, like, I just thought that was crazy, because I always think that the people listening to that are the ones that are already listening to this show, or people that are just in the Discord already. But somebody found it naturally, super cool. But then when I was talking to him about it, he said, yeah, it was just the one on the top of the Google search. So I tried it and it worked. And then 3 days ago, somebody else joined. I remember this guy's name. His name is Jethro. There's your shout out. Jeffro. He joined. And I was like, hey, what brings you? And he's like, oh, I just Google searched Christian D&D podcast and you guys came up. And so I decided to join. And I was like, this is 2 people in like 3 weeks. Which 2 people in 3 weeks. But at the same time, like,
2 people in 3 weeks.
That's
2 people in
crazy.
3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
so Matt and I have been talking about how, like, this might be happening considerably more often as we keep going, like, which is just crazy, because when you look at, there are so many D&D podcasts online,
Yeah.
and there are a few that say, you know, maybe they have something to do with Christianity, or like somebody in them is like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but very few advertise as like, we are a group of Christians playing D&D together.
Yeah.
And that's what's more important to us, is that we're Christians rather than just being entertaining in the way that people expect from a D&D podcast,
Yeah.
which is not very Christian. So
Usually.
yeah, and you know, we work hard on it.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time curating it down so that it's a better experience for people, which some people do more of that than we do, but a lot of people, it's just everything is in there, which we leave like the majority of stuff, even stuff that doesn't really matter. But things that are just detractors from it. What does that sound?
I think it's
It sounds louder in my headphones. It kind of
Yeah.
sounded like the communist anthem or whatever.
I don't think it's that.
The communist anthem.
What's it called? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Jude definitely knows
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Somebody just sent it to the Discord and
It's just auto playing.
auto-playing.
That would be
Soviet-
really bad.
That'd be
Soviet
hilarious.
something, Soviet anthem.
But yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah,
I think
that's super cool.
yeah.
Yeah, very.
And we have, I think, 500 downloads, like I was saying, and I'm pretty sure 100 of them are from the first episode. And we've released how many now?
Around
16 or something?
16 or yeah,
Some number.
because I think that I'm.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I learned that we
more than
were
4, Jude.
the #1 podcast while I was in Mexico, and so I was freaking out, showing everybody
What's the #1 podcast?
that came up first when you search Christian D&D podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's crazy. We've already done 16 episodes of the show, but we just played our 17th session.
Yeah.
Wild.
Are we really that?
Most of them are cut in half. There's just a
okay.
few
A
episodes
lot
that,
of them were cut in half.
yeah, 9 out of 10 of them usually.
I'm not in the editing side of it, so
That's all right. Pretty much only Levi is,
Yeah.
pretty much.
and then Matt on occasion. Matt's got, you know,
Fingers in everybody's pie.
pretty much
Yeah.
all the projects going on at Christian Influence. Matt, at the very least, has a pinky in.
Is that the phrase?
I know it's a weird phrase.
It's a terrible
It's
phrase.
not my favorite.
I don't
goodness.
get why.
That's why I didn't. I just didn't say it.
Oh,
I mean, it's not.
but it's the
Horrible
phrase.
Yeah, it's a weird phrase. But yeah, all of that to say thank you guys for listening and watching. It means a lot to us. We recently passed a pretty crazy milestone. We're probably coming up on another one. And it's super cool. Most of us, I think all of us, never thought we'd be doing something like this and that it would actually people would actually find value in it. It's very cool that people enjoy it, and we hope to keep doing that. There's something else I was going to say. Now I don't remember. We need to thank. We have a new patron, and at the $5 level, so we need to thank him. His name is Josh Furlong. Thank you. I don't know if you watch or listen. Do any of you know him?
No. Nope.
Jude?
My name sounds very familiar.
I know it sounds kind of familiar to me too, but I couldn't figure out who he was. But yeah, I don't know if you watch the show or listen to the show, or but I do know that you backed us on Patreon, and that means a lot. You're helping us out a lot, keeping this podcast going, supporting it, and also helping support everything that we're doing at Christian Influence. So thank you so much for that. All right, that stuff's out of the way. You know what we haven't done once this season?
What?
Tell people about the Discord. Jude, why don't you tell people about the Discord?
I would love to tell people about the Discord, Jerry. Christian Influence is a Discord online community where you can find people with similar interests in your internet hobbies, absorb content from Christian creators, and participate in events and giveaways. Make friends.
They can absorb content, huh?
Yeah.
Osmosis. that
Osmosis.
content
Please
right up.
absorb our content.
Pumping out content for you to absorb.
Yeah. Cool. Anything to add about the Discord?
It's a cool place.
It is a cool place.
It is a cool place.
If you enjoy what we do on this show, and presumably you do if you're 51 episodes in, you'll enjoy the Discord even more. It's a great place for you to, and way for you to connect with people like us, but also a whole bunch of other people that listen to the show and do other things. If you play video games, you can play video games with other Christians. If you don't play video games, you can go on, become a prayer partner with someone, get to know them and pray for them, and they pray for you. You can join. We're having another Bible study this summer that'll be led by, I'm pretty sure Matt is going to lead it. And then we have a whole bunch of other things. And so we'd love to see you there. And if you ever have a question about something on the show, or you want to talk to us about something on the show or talk to other people, there's a place for it there. When you join, you can just tell it. It'll ask you like, hey, what are you doing here? And you can say, I'm here to play video games, or I'm here because I listen to the podcast. And then you can go talk to people about those same things. Discord just got an update recently that kind of curates your experience like that. It's really nice. It's actually really cool.
Like curating the experience. All my channels were moved around.
Yeah. So when you join now, or if you go back and mess it up, if you join now, you can click a new thing. Like it'll say, what are you here for?
Yeah.
And then you can say, well, I'm here because I play Ark. And if that's the only one you select, all the other channels will not show up for you. They'll just be down at the bottom, grayed out, I think. And it just shows you the ones that you care about. You can still go find the other ones, but it just shows you what you care about. That way, people aren't like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here, you know?
Yeah, I just clicked all of them. But then, like, a ton of the channels were just, like, they didn't show up. They weren't at the bottom. I went through every single one. But then when you pinged me in it, then I went, and it was like, this is not one of your added channels. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have messed with it.
How dare you?
Well, there was no other option.
Oh.
Isn't it just, it asked me what I like. I didn't think there was a skip button.
Oh, did you leave the Discord and rejoin?
No, it's when we were doing, like, admin privileges.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know why I would have done that.
Strange.
It shouldn't do that to anybody that's already there. It didn't do it to me. Well, that doesn't matter. So we can continue. Sorry, Byron, you were saying something earlier and that you wanted to talk to us about, and I what?
No.
Well, I'm perfect at doing the transitions, man.
those
you know
are
how I do it?
good.
I just say, hey, this exists.
Here you go. Let's do it. So, I don't know about you guys, but we play some video games, right?
We do.
Hopefully, to some extent. Kind of what the Discord started around. Do you guys play any retro games? Have you guys played your retro games in a while?
I know where this is.
Levi knows where this is going.
No, I don't know what you mean. Do you mean like a game that
Just
came out in like the 80s?
Like
I'm not talking
nostalgia
like
games.
like nostalgia games. So like something you played when you were, I don't know,
Yes.
way younger.
Insane
Hacker.
Aquarium Deluxe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like the other day,
Jet Set Radio.
I went and bought a adapter so I wanted to play our PlayStation 2 and play some old fun games.
Is that considered retro now?
I don't know.
I mean, it's
retro
nostalgic
to us.
for us.
It's
It's like-
nostalgic for us.
Okay.
PlayStation 2 is older, right? Because it's older than the
It's
Xbox
older than
360
3, yeah.
significantly.
Yeah.
And
So,
the
yeah,
4.
it's pretty retro.
It's
so-
yeah.
It's younger than the 1 though.
No, yeah, I put those together.
Dude, the game that I'm playing right now for it is 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost 20.
Almost 20.
Yeah.
It's almost an old dinosaur.
20's dinosaur now, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I'm old.
See, what were you saying?
Anyway,
saying?
no, I wanted to play some old games, and so I went and bought like a high def plugin for the PlayStation because we've never been able to play it on our TV, and then I finally got it in HDMI. Oh my goodness, nostalgia trip that happens. I don't know if you guys have played old games, and then also the like how bad the graphics are on your old games, and you imagine them so much clearer, so
Yeah.
much more crisp, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you only have 5 pixels for your head. This is great. You are a blurry, smudgy mess.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, when I think back on those games, I'm like, yeah, they were fun, and they were just like the best of what you could get. But now when you go back, you're just like, oh, how did I ever think this was good?
Yeah, but one of the games Levi was talking about, he started playing it also. We played it. I don't know, how old were we?
Dude, I don't know, but I put in hours into that game.
If it's 19 years old, you would have been, what, like 5?
We didn't get it when it was.
We didn't get
Oh,
it when it
we got
was
it used.
We got it. We had gotten it used.
I think I got it when I was on my 12th birthday, for some reason.
So I would have been like 8, 9.
Might have been around. I don't know. We got this game and we played hours of it, and so now we're replaying old games.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the emotional feels and the experience around it. I don't know if you guys have had that experience before.
I
Or
think
recently.
everybody, even if it's not
Recently.
video games, it's like something nostalgic.
Yeah.
Tim sent me a meme the other day that was like, you're just walking through the park and then you smell something and relive your entire childhood because that one smell triggers something from your childhood and then it goes away and you're left wondering what it was.
Dude,
Like that happens to me all the time.
I found this video that I was just like going through. I don't know what app it was. It was a while like years ago. It might have been iFunny or something. I don't know. But it was
Might have been iFunny.
no, I don't know what it was. But it was literally just an audio recording of birds. But it was the birds from when you leave your house and you're getting into your car to go to school. They're just I don't hear them anymore.
I don't.
You don't because you don't go to school anymore. Or?
No, like
You never
like
up that early.
No, I get up that early, but
yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
the same sound. Like
Yeah.
No,
and
from when
then
you were a kid.
and then in that video, it's like
Well, all the birds got updated recently, so their sound sounds a little different.
yeah.
New sounds like.
Well, you know, the government.
I did see a thing that they were taking birds and making them into drones.
to
and
actually do the meme.
They
or
were
conspiracy
actually
thing.
and we're just like we already knew that the birds aren't real.
It's like those what are they called? Those birds in the Hunger Games.
the
Robot birds.
What are they called?
Mockingjay.
Mockingjays. But there's a different one.
Oh, the robot ones.
The robot
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Robot bird.
What are they called? Jabberjays.
Jabber.
Thank you.
Jabberjays.
The guy in the chair loves the Hunger Games. So you should ask him about it.
Jabberjays. It's just a bunch of British
Yeah.
birds with knives.
Oh, come on.
I'm so sorry.
Now Tim's going to have to...
My bad, Tim.
Oh, my
Jabberjays.
Jabba J.
Yeah.
That's such.
I read the Byron... I'm sorry. We got off topic.
We
No,
derailed.
No,
a
that's
ton.
fine. I love the conversation. I was just saying, like the nostalgia trip, the experience of it. It was so much fun to go back and play these old games now.
What game?
So I'm playing Star Ocean. Is the game that me and Levi had played. when
Star
we were
Ocean
young.
till the end of time.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
it's
Dude, it's this Japanese. It's a JRPG,
I knew it.
but it's
Yeah.
dude.
it's a 2-disc
With a name like
game.
Star Ocean till the end of time. it
We
couldn't be
literally
anything else.
so I have the old save files, the ones that I didn't delete over time because I would get to a certain point and it would just get like boring, or then I would take a stent off and then you have no idea where you are because there's no way to look like, oh, what are my quest logs? You
There's
have to
no quest
literally
log.
constantly play or like write everything down. But I had a save file that was like 60 hours. And I remember I stopped playing the game like originally because during that save file, I had played for like an entire day, but I'd forgotten to save and then I died. So then that entire like 10 hours was gone. And then I was just like, you know what? No.
I'm never playing this again.
Yeah. And then I went back to it and then I was like, I have no idea what the heck is going on. So then I restarted and I have all of these like 10 to 15 hour saves that I kept having to make new ones because I would just like get lost in what I was doing. Oh, while I was a kid.
So a JRPG, huh?
Yeah, that's the game
Yeah.
he's playing. I'm playing, which is a JRPG, I think. Also, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah, I think that's like the bare minimum of a JRPG,
but I think
right?
it's the bare minimum.
It's
But
got all the Disney characters, right?
it does. It's kind of fun.
I've never played those games.
I just started that one.
But I found a way of getting one of my guys to never die. So I literally, and the more that your abilities proc, the higher level they become. Like you have to upgrade every single ability by using it. So I literally just let the game play for a while I went and did something else just so that it would level up. Because like that's how you have to play like a lot of the older JRPGs.
You have to cheese them.
Well, no, it just takes a ton of grinding.
Oh, okay.
So cheesing them helps.
Yeah. Nice.
Why are they called JRPGs? Not
Japanese.
just RPGs. You don't hear
Not
many...
PGs.
No, RPGs.
RPGs.
We don't call them ARPGs.
American role-playing games.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they're just the rest of the world except for Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, because they're like made in Japan specifically, and they clearly look Japanese.
They look like cartoons. Japanese people don't look like cartoons. You're out of your mind.
But they do though.
Oh my goodness!
No,
There
they're
it is. 2 episodes in a row where you're towing the line.
yeah. No, because the
I think the
games are
audience can
clearly-
read between the lines, see how Jerry really feels.
Yeah, these past 3 episodes, I think you've called me out for apparently towing line. That was a
Being
joke.
a terrible person.
The first 2, though, I was just speaand
The first 2, I wasn't joking.
Is Pokemon a
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Those were physical.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. But
Is Pokemon a Japanese role-playing game?
I
Don't you like build teams in Japanese role-playing games?
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know.
Like Pokemon is just a kid with a team.
Dude, I honestly,
So it's a
like,
Japanese role-playing.
you know, we should have David on and ask him because
Absolutely.
one time I
David
called.
is a professional.
Like,
Japanese
if you
role-playing
call
game
something
player.
anime that's not anime, David will correct you. I'm sure if you called it a JRPG and it's not one, I think it probably is. It's just that it's so popular that people might not call it that. But by definition, I'm sure it probably is.
once they get mainstream enough,
Yeah, that's true.
it becomes more worldwide instead of just.
Mr. Worldwide.
Does America
Mr.
exist in the
Worldwide.
Pokemon universe? Do we ever see any like?
No, it's not the real world. It's a fictional universe.
Yeah, but they've got
Some of their worlds are starting to turn. They are actually like doing country
Yeah.
or region spaces.
They have one that looks
They
like.
did like.
like
the
France.
UK.
They've got
They,
characters from the
they
UK.
just did. They just did the UK.
But it's not
Oh, yeah,
called
like
the UK.
Scotland
It's
and
Hawaii.
Ireland.
They've done
Yeah.
Hawaii. They've done UK. They've
Yeah, but
done
those
Europe.
are like different. They're different. They're just
They just
inspired
did
by-
like
Yeah.
cultural.
yeah. Appropriation.
Get a
cultural
Russian one.
appropriation.
But it's like a survival horror.
It's like a survival horror.
Because the Pokemon there are just like
Yeah, they're
The
gonna
Pokemon are
what?
trying to catch you.
bear.
What?
This is my Pokemon, Hungry Bear.
Oh, this is the Russia
Hungry
one.
Bear.
Yeah, they're all the different bear. Type
Go
Pokemon.
starving bear. Use
But the entire
frenzy.
game is the Pokemon are catching you in Pokeballs.
They're going to kill us.
Yeah, and then you're going to the gulag and fighting to the death.
Yuri, no! Yuri! The Pokemon trainer sends out your best friend and you have to fight him.
Oh no.
It's so sad, and you're not dying either. You're getting knocked out and having to be
Yeah, and they keep
resuscitated.
bringing you back.
Groudon, use
forcing
Red
you to fight your
Wave.
best friends again. What?
Said Groudon, use Red Wave.
I knew you'd know it.
Soviet Pokemon.
This is I think maybe a cartoon kids need.
leader, Mr. Mime.
He's just got a massive mustache.
Who would be the Russian leader if Russia was Pokemon?
Mr. Mime.
Would it be
big old
Mr. Mime?
coat, yeah.
No.
That'd be hilarious.
conclusion.
Yeah. Probably. You're probably right. Or Jinx.
Or it could be Rat-a-tat.
Why?
Small. Weak.
Is there a bear Pokemon?
There
has
is.
to
There's a
be.
couple
Yeah,
bears. There's a couple
Ursaring.
bears. Ursaring.
Ursaring. Oh, Ursaring would be a good one.
Yeah.
With like a fascist
There's like
hat.
a yeah, but if Ursaring was like the ice type variant or something,
There is- there is the ice
Yeah,
one.
so he looks like a polar bear, and you give him a little red hat with a star on it. Boom, Russia.
Dude, that's a good one.
There is a polar bear
pretty
one.
good.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either. Cool.
Pikachu Hawaiian?
Pikachu is a bear, yeah.
No, he's a mouse.
What?
Hawaiian mouse.
Jude asked if he was Hawaiian. You went, yeah, he's a bear.
Which is
I
not
thought you
What
said
is
is.
going on?
I thought you said is Pikachu one?
Oh,
That's what I heard you
a
say.
bear. No,
I think he's like a
And
mouse.
I'm like,
He's a
no,
mouse.
yeah. I don't
Poogie
think that
Cho,
he's a
actually.
bear. That was
the
the
race.
joke.
Oh,
They're called
okay.
Poogichos.
What?
The race is called Poogicho. in
No,
the
it's
Pokemon.
not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's not. They're called Poogichos.
no.
I think they're called Pokemon.
Oh, got him.
I've specifically done what you were talking about with the nostalgia. I got Xbox 360 out. I got Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and it's so bad. It's so hard to 100% that game.
Really?
Yeah, because the controls, there's no moving the screen. You only move your character,
That is
which
the
is
worst
Oh.
part.
so it's locked. Yeah.
Dude,
The
controls, because there was no like universal, these are the controls that you have to use. So every single game just had slightly different ones. Like to move the camera in Star Ocean, you have to use R1 and L1 to turn it. Instead of like the right analog stick is just not used at all.
It's also got some
Sorry,
like
I'm spacing out.
unflattening
I didn't
caricatures.
notice.
Okay. I looked up and both of you were looking right at me.
Jet Set Radio also has some unflattering caricatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put a little MSG on it, or
Yeah, they sprinkle a little MSG on the
Yeah.
yeah on the character design. They're
it's
like
unfortunate.
they put a little MSG on it. And now it's. I was like, I don't think they would make a game character look
They
like this
couldn't.
anymore.
No, the Japanese might, but
The Japanese way.
You keep us informed, you Japanese role playing game players.
so Levi.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Jude, were you there? Levi.
I'll punch you. Was I there? I don't know what you're talking
No, Jude wasn't there.
No, we.
Because that was the whole point.
Yeah, we didn't want Jude there. No, so they would have been distracted with Jude if Jude was there.
about.
Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But we've done, since the last episode, I think we've done 3 or 4 Kettle Corn shows. We redid the Kettle Corn show that started this podcast off, where we had the massage gun story happen. Nothing exciting happened. Absolutely nothing. Were you at that one with me? You were, because you were
Yeah.
inside reading Dune.
Because I was inside. I was reading a book the entire time.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
crying my eyes out.
Because he was alone, not because of the book.
It was one of those like mother's romance novels with Fabio on
Fabio, yeah. Yeah. Levi really likes those. He identifies with the female protagonists a lot.
Very much
Because
so.
Fabio, no. See, that was Medford. We did one before that in Roseburg. I missed it, though, because I was super sick.
I was there for that. We made the golden
The golden corn.
the golden corn.
Dude, it was so
looked
good.
like actual gold. It was
It was a triple sugar.
I missed one show, and you guys make golden kettle corn?
Dude, it was triple sugar,
It was
regular
triple
kettle corn,
sugar.
and double salt.
yeah.
Wow.
So, wait, David did 3 scoops of
Wow.
sugar?
So it was a
No,
quarter
no, no.
batch.
We
but
we
the
did a
proportions.
third. We did a third
On
corn.
purpose?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a third of a batch in volume, but the proportions are triple sugar, double salt, and so dense. so
disgusting.
good.
It was
No, it's
so
not.
heavy.
It's not disgusting.
It was
When
incredibly
it dries,
heavy.
as soon as it dries, it's all solid. Like you can't.
Yeah, because it's sugar.
No,
There's
I know,
more
but
sugar
like-
than corn in it. Literally. Yes.
dude. Maybe.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe that's the
certainly,
price.
dude.
Maybe that's the price of ambrosia. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't write
no.
the
You're
rules.
just eating hard sugar.
No, it's just candy. But
Yes.
it's so good. It's
It
good
was
candy.
so
Yeah,
good.
but it's like
It
no,
was salty.
But
to
it was
make
terrible
candy.
for me.
You like have a lot of other stuff that goes into it, but this is just sugar and
That
oil.
was so heavy.
And salt.
But it
But
was
that's
gold.
not making it hard. It's made hard by sugar and oil.
Yeah.
And then you're just putting salt on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's like
Dude,
eating
it
Skittles.
was
It's
so
like eating
good.
Skittles.
You might as
Skittles are
well
just sugar.
you might as well mix a big pot
All right,
of
all right.
sugar
Throw
and
up the
oil.
picture.
Let me find the photo.
You might as well
Got a photo of it in a
stir.
sunlight ray.
The sunlight
I see the
beams
photo. It looked
going off of it. It looks like actual gold. It was,
It was
so
delicious.
beautiful.
Hey, this is a great
And it was
selling point
delicious.
for our product. So
Dude, it's like it's no better than candy, but it's like a bag of Skittles. Except the
No.
bag is this big.
And it
I'm
weighs
just
like
saying
5
it's
pounds.
grosser because it's like,
Yeah, it weighs like
if
13
you
pounds.
eat it, you might as well stir together a big pot of soybean oil and sugar and make a brick of it and eat that.
Yes.
Well, you got to salt it too.
You're saying it like it's a bad
Sorry.
thing.
And then salt it.
But yeah.
You're saying it like it's not a good
But is it
thing.
That
isn't
sounds
candy
disgusting.
Just water instead of oil?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least it's water. But like oil, that sounds so gross.
That's why you have sugar.
It's just
Tastes
candy.
Ugh.
I don't know if I don't have the photo.
You don't have the photo?
No, maybe Dave.
All right, we'll
That's
find
fine.
the photo. Tim will get
Dude,
it.
we just keep giving Tim more.
Tim,
No.
get
Tim
on
will,
that, Tim.
Tim will take
Hey,
the
No,
Tim will take care of
it can be on the Discord.
Get on
like,
that, Tim.
Yeah,
when
that's
this
my
episode comes
plan.
out.
It was
Um,
really good.
It was so good.
It was so good.
But yeah,
I believe you.
Man, I want that now.
it's so bad for you though.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
man,
Our
it
kettle
was
corn is delicious, but it says on the bag like one serving is only like 110 calories or 150 calories or something like that.
What's a
but
serving
there's
size?
10 servings in a bag.
Yeah.
It's a 10-ounce bag, so one serving is 1 ounce, so 1/10 of the bag. Anybody that buys the kettle corn usually eats at least half the bag in one sitting.
Yeah.
Jared, you can't be saying this on the podcast, dude.
What? It's
Have you had
it's
your-
information that's publicly available on the bag itself.
Yeah, but we don't need to tell the consumer.
No, everybody knows this about products. You know, people
It's
just
still better than the candy bar.
Yeah,
never-
but like
doctor's
you
opinion.
can still name your company 100% beef and then not do that because
yeah, that's just the name.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're called Suzy Q's kettle
don't-
corn,
you
but
don't
we don't even
wanna-
put corn in it.
We're
It's
Suzy
broccoli.
Q's
We don't even
100%
put
beef
corn in
kettle
it.
corn.
It's just broccoli.
It's just pop
It's just broccoli heads, deep fried broccoli.
Yeah, we just throw some broccoli
Just
and some oil and some sugar.
soggy like
No, it gets
So wait.
crispy.
I had
So it must take a lot of sugar to make it gold. To make
It was
broccoli
3
gold?
times the sugar.
No,
It
it
was-
makes the broccoli gold.
Oh,
'cause it's
yeah.
going
Oh, yeah,
green
yeah,
to
yeah.
gold.
we just kind of
Oh, you spray painted the base.
spray
Okay.
paint.
Yeah.
Hey, the lead makes it sweeter.
we spray
Yes,
paint
it
the
does.
base.
There's not lead in spray paint anymore.
Well, maybe
stuff
not
we
your
use.
spray paint.
Yeah. You're using that budget stuff that got left over from the 20s or whatever.
Yeah.
When they
it co-
didn't have
it
spray paint.
covers better,
Cold
okay?
War spray paint.
Hey, what?
It covers better, okay?
Hey guys,
Cold
let me
War.
just
War
ask
was
you
like
this.
No, I know, but like they still had lead stuff in Cold War.
Let me just
No,
ask
they
you
did.
They
this.
had,
Yeah,
they had lead
dude,
stuff selling
everything
couple
was
years
just lead.
like
Let
several
me just
years
ask you this,
That's
real
true.
quick.
What?
You know how they deep fry everything?
Yeah.
Have there?
Who's
is there-
they?
Everyone, the
America.
corporate, the big deep
the big
fry.
people.
Big tobacco, big deep fryer.
Yeah,
Big
big
tobacco.
tobacco.
Have you ever
deep
seen
frying
deep
everything.
fried garlic bread? Like cheesy.
That sounds incredible.
Doesn't it
gosh.
sound incredible?
Dude, I am so hungry.
Like the Winco garlic bread that has like that thick
Yeah.
cream cheese
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
But then deep fry a ball of that. Has nobody done that?
There has
Are
to
you
be.
saying, have we heard of it because you know it's a thing?
No, I was just thinking about it yesterday. Like that sounds like the best food.
Would you bread it, like, so that it could be deep fried? So that because the cream cheese, if it goes in the fryer, won't it just like
genuinely think that you would make like
millions?
you would like beat the bread. Like you would take the bread, the fluffy bread, and just mash it together with like a garlic butter paste, and then you would breadcrumb it and deep fry it. And I think
That's-
it would turn out
I think
that
really
would be
good.
so good.
I do think that.
Can
would
we
work.
do
Does
that?
that not sound like the best.
You would bite into it and it'd just be gooey, but still,
But it would be bready
substantial.
still and buttery.
Cream
But
cheese
it's
is a
all-
weird option to me. But
It's not cream cheese, but it's like that thick butter.
maybe cottage
Yeah,
cheese.
it's the
I'm just kidding.
cottage cheese.
What?
How quickly you ruined my amazing idea.
No, cream cheese would probably.
But
work.
then you'd throw a little bit of Parmesan,
Yeah.
maybe after you deep fry it, so it
Yeah,
crusts up
after,
on the
after,
top.
yeah. Like the garnish on top, and it's just like
you should probably use mozzarella instead of cream cheese.
I'm not using cream.
He's not using cream cheese.
I
He
know.
said cream cheese, but
I know
he
that's
doesn't
why I'm
mean
saying,
it.
I was
but we
just
don't
saying
know.
like thick
He said
butter.
I just said that because I don't know.
I
I'm
don't want
saying.
it. I actually don't want it to be cheesy, deep fried cheesy bread. Like I want garlic buttery.
bread. Yeah, the
and then
butter.
maybe
So
just
no cheese.
maybe just a sprinkle of
Parmesan.
Parmesan on top.
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Can we do that?
So take like half a
Parmesan.
stick of butter, a piece of sourdough bread, just shove it together until you get a nasty like goopy
I think you
mess.
make a butter sauce.
Yeah, you have to make the butter garlic
The
sauce.
butter garlic sauce. which
And
would-
then,
then
you
you
mash it all.
Johnny's garlic.
So really, there's
butter.
no real bread to it. It's just like bread that's been smashed together with
It would
butter.
be like a
Hogs.
doughy.
So it'd be more like dough.
I think it would be good though.
I think it would be
You're
taste
giving
like
me looks
sourdough.
of no.
I was thinking like, what if you did it before you baked the
Baked
bread,
it?
and so
Yeah,
you actually
I
have
was
the
just thinking
dough,
that.
and you take the whole dough loaf, and then you throw that in the
Yeah,
oil,
that would be better.
deep fry it. So now you've deep fried a loaf of bread
Yeah.
that's now cooked in the oil.
That
Pull it
sounds
out,
I don't
way
think you
better.
dry
can
it,
do that.
cut it. Yeah, you could.
Why would
It's
you
just
not
fry a
be
loaf
able
of
to do
bread?
that?
The deep fryer is just the cooking method. Like
I
an
think
It's just
oven
not
is.
baking.
I
it.
think we
It's not
have to
baking.
figure out if we can. We need to do
On
this.
No,
right.
but
air.
you'd have to change the dough to like a different type because regular just like
It makes it a
sourdough.
donut.
But it's not what I want. I
You
want
want-
sourdough bread.
I want the sourdough.
Make
dough.
sourdough
I really
bread.
think my idea, though it
What if-
sounds funky.
Good.
What
Oh,
I,
it sounds good.
What I first thought you were saying is you make the sourdough bread, you cut it in half, and you kind of like make it. But instead of mashing it, you just take the loaf that's cut in half and you just deep fry it.
No.
And then you pull that out, and then you put your.
No, Byron,
garlic
that's
bread.
No,
ridiculous.
these are
I know.
balls.
Oh my gosh.
These, oh my gosh, balls. Of course, balls. Yes, they're balls. So you would take, you might actually, you might.
Oh my gosh. They're balls. Yeah, you're saying you would take sourdough bread
Yeah.
and you would take like a garlic butter and you would just mash them together until it's like a uniform substance.
Yeah.
So it would make a weird butter bread hybrid.
Like in the same way that
Okay.
like
Butter bread
I don't know if that is
French
You can't get
toast
more
is like
American than that.
soaked bread.
bread hybrid.
In the way that French toast
And
is
then
like
you deep
soaked
fry
Throw some
bread,
bacon in it.
you would
Yeah.
just kind of take like.
But
Maybe throw a gun.
French toast is not mashed
more American.
together.
I know, but I think it
bread
would taste
sliced.
really
Put it in the
good.
deep fryer.
Or
you
dipped in
took it
oil,
out.
or dipped in egg, and then fried.
Yosemite Sam.
I just think it would taste
Yeah.
good. I just think it would taste so good.
I
think
the,
you're right.
When the bullets are
I
all fired, you know it's
think
done.
you're onto something here, and I want you to make it and then bring it back for next time.
And then
You
you, just
should.
like a little mozzarella, on the plate, and you just don't set the ball on
yeah.
top.
No.
Are you not
yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
Mozzarella? Why would it be cold?
What is your
It-
problem?
the mozzarella would probably melt.
Wait a minute. Did I say mozzarella?
Yes.
This is sour cream.
No, he said mozzarella.
He also said
I
Mozzarella.
never said sour cream. I meant to say
cottage
spaghetti
cheese,
Thank you.
Marinara
Marinara.
sauce? Oh.
marinara.
It was
You
gross.
just you take marinara
I think
ball?
that the cheese is good.
and then you parmesan.
It would just be bad cold.
yeah, don't put it on cold.
That's why I think
Well,
if you're
no.
gonna do mozzarella, you,
You
put
would
it
have it-
in the center of it. So make that ball, wrap it around a ball of mozzarella because they come in those little balls.
Then it's like a cheese ball.
I don't know.
Then it's like what are those called? Yeah, mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, but that's not what I want.
Nobody cares.
I was thinking
Garlic
after.
No, your idea is better.
The consistency in the middle will
Yeah.
be slightly grittier stuffing, so it's not as fudgy.
I don't-
which
see,
is
I don't
what
want
we
that.
want. Yes, it is. It is. You don't know that you want it yet, but you do.
You don't know what you want yet.
I want the.
You don't know
fluffy-
that you want it.
I want the fluffy sourdough bread,
Yeah.
but with a nice, oiled crusted shell. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want different things.
What a nice oil.
I want the experience of garlic bread in a ball,
That's
a deep fried ball.
That's just
Yeah.
heavy.
But you want
loaf.
the real thing.
The
I
weird
want the
thing about you.
experience.
The weird
the
thing
heavy
about you is, and this is about you.
Here's the weird thing about you.
Here's the weird thing about you is that you're taking a delicious experience, right? Garlic bread, this delicious experience, and you're making it worse because
What?
Because hang on,
I really think it could be better.
Hang on,
Well,
you're
like-
adding nothing to it. You're smashing it up, basically pre-chewing it, and then putting it in hot oil. Nothing's been added to it.
Yeah, when you describe it
Byron
like
and
that,
I-
it's disgusting.
That's what deep frying is. It bothers me so much. I think it's so gross.
I think
Jerry,
you're so gross.
You don't
You gotta
have
add something
oh
to it.
my
Hold on.
goodness.
Hold on.
Well, then deep fry me, Levi.
Okay.
Deep fry me.
I try it.
You think I'm so gross? Deep fry me.
Yeah, you'd probably taste better deep fried.
100%.
I mean, yeah, human.
100%.
If you have to eat human, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Dude, deep fried human.
With a little
Smile.
salt.
Don't
With a little
smile
salt.
about it when you say that. Dude, deep fried human.
Dude, I'm not doing nothing.
Cannibals
I'm
out there,
literally
let us know.
transforming the experience.
You are transforming it. That's true.
I'm
But he
transforming it into
wants,
something new.
like-
and the way you eat it would be different. The flavors would be
You're
different.
right. No, I'm incorrect.
But
you're
it's-
preparing it differently, which
Yeah.
does make it a new thing.
But it's the
Maybe
like,
you get a piece of sourdough, you take the crust off, and then you just you apply the butter, and then the seasoning, like the garlic butter sauce, and then you roll it up and then deep fry that. So it's because I want layers of bread and sauce. Not
That would
just
be
a
better
flat.
than the smash thing.
I think that's how we meet
See,
in the middle.
I think we can meet in the
and then
middle.
you get a cool churro kind of. Well, not churro.
gross.
I think you could turn it into a ball.
Well,
My
no,
brain-
then it would. If you could see maybe a garlic spiral down the
cinnamon,
side. So
like a cinnamon
tiny
roll?
Like a
little.
s-
It's like
They
a
would
savory
look like a
pumpkin
s-
roll. So it's a pumpkin roll, but better because it's not
Yeah,
sweet.
you roll it up and it would
Yeah.
look like a little
A garlic bread pumpkin roll deep fried.
I think we're really on the.
I think we're
cutting
onto
edge.
something.
Hey, you know the thing about you?
What?
No. You're onto something.
You're on something.
You're on something.
You're on something.
Yeah. So we did a few shows, some Susan Q shows.
yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
And it was a lot of fun. Levi got to go, I think, on 3 or 4 of them with us.
Yeah.
Which was super fun because before this you've only done, I think, 2.
Yeah.
And you got to go see the one that we did that we've talked about on the first episode of this podcast. Did we lose a mic? Oh, you muted. Okay. Sorry, I had my eyes closed when you did that. So you got to go see that place. That was interesting. Those guys weren't there. There was a different guy with a massage gun thing, but that guy wasn't there, unfortunately. But no, they went really well. Honestly, I mean, just to kind of talk about it for a little bit, those shows we did really well. It was really good, and we've had some difficulties doing some stuff as a company recently, but I'm very, very thankful for how those went. We got to meet a lot of great people and make some good connections, so those went really well. But was it the last one we did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one we did, we had just a really interesting experience because we drove over the pass. So for most of you know that we're in the Willamette Valley in Oregon. We drove over the pass to Bend, actually to Redmond, and went to my favorite fairgrounds, which is the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. I like it more than the state fairgrounds because it's just this big. So it's just a big donut kind of, and so everything's really easy to find, and I think it's laid out really well. It's pretty big. I think they could do a fair probably close to the size of the state fair. I mean, the Deschutes County Fair is huge.
And it just feels nicer.
It feels nice. I think, it's newer. So all the buildings are nicer. It's a different kind of look. They all kind of look like really nice farm building or like barns from the outside. And then you go into them, they're just these nice big show floors.
That is nice. All the buildings there are uniform. It's not that way at the.
Yeah, you have
state
the Jackman
fairgrounds.
Long building and then the random other building at our fairgrounds, and they just look totally different. But at that one, they all have this kind of barn look to them. It's a really nice fairgrounds, but that doesn't really matter. But shout out to the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. I love you guys. But
Oh, and little side tangent. They were taking down all of the signs for Rockstar, and they were replacing them all with Starry. Because I know that we talked about that on the podcast.
oh yeah, that's true.
We'll call back.
And it was so weird.
Yeah. We were like,
Starry.
this is real. Because we were walking to the elevator at one point, and there was just a big wrap, or whatever those things are called, like those big vinyl, sticker things, and it was Starry, like a big Starry can. And we were like, what?
Yeah.
Did Rockstar lose their brand?
No, well, they might have lost the brand deal. I don't know. But Starry.
Sierra Mist,
Sierra Mist
changed their
rebranded.
Justice for
rebranding
Sierra.
Starry.
Oh, okay.
Missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sierra Mist isn't a thing anymore. Now it's the same soda. It's just
Starry.
called Starry. They completely rebranded.
Yeah.
And we're upset.
We talked
We
about
are
it on an
upset.
episode for some reason.
I was not on that episode.
No, it was like episode 21, I think, of the last season.
Anyway,
So we went to this show and we got there. Keep in mind, it's like very beginning of, or still like mid-March or something. And for whatever reason, just dumped snow on us.
dude. So we're driving from Salem, and it's already snowing.
Yeah.
Like in Salem, we get over the pass, and once we do, bright sun.
Well, when we
open
were
skies.
in the pass,
Yeah,
it was
when
the
we're in
most snow I've driven through
It
in
was
the pass
horrible.
before.
But once we got through
And I
it,
got to drive the truck.
yeah, I got to sit in the middle.
They were asleep, and I was like, and then it got really,
Hey,
really bad.
we felt
And so-
safe enough with him driving that we were.
Yeah,
able to
well, then
fall
you were
asleep.
sleeping during the part where I didn't feel safe because there was a couple moments where we have like 3,000 extra pounds on the back of product, and I'm just like, and then it was like slipping and sliding, and it was really scary.
Yeah.
Because there were some parts where it wasn't cleared, like
Mm-hmm.
the really remote parts of the pass. They were just covered in ice.
And it's like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours from Salem to Bend.
Yeah.
But there were parts where, I mean, people listening from like the Midwest are probably like, these guys are wimps. But we don't, in the Willamette Valley, we rarely drive on ice.
Yeah.
So most of us aren't very used to it. I've had a lot more experience in the last couple of years doing it. But in that big truck, I was just like, man, if something slides, like, we're dead.
We're just dead,
We're going to
yeah.
kill somebody. And so it was nerve-wracking. But yeah, we
get through that, and then it's all like sun. There's like very few clouds in the sky, and it's like, oh, this is beautiful. This is gonna be a wonderful show. And then we're starting to set up, and then it just starts hailing.
No, I thought it was nice what we set up.
No, it was, and then it started like there was like sprinkles of
Yeah.
hail and snow, and it was like we look up and the sun is still out.
Yeah.
There's no clouds over us.
But it was
We're like,
it wasn't like dumping yet because it was enough that
No.
it didn't ruin our setup process.
but
and
it
then
was just
stopped.
like it like kept coming
Yeah.
and going, and it was like, what's going on?
But setup was okay, and having an extra person because you were there, we got set up in like record time. Also now because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like the first few times we had you there, you didn't slow it down, but it wasn't like it made a huge difference. But now that you know the process, we got it done like that, which
Yeah,
was
it was
really
real
great.
quick.
And because setup is the bad one, tear down is easy. Yeah. And then we get everything set up. It's super nice. We're like, you know what? This is probably going to be nice because the only thing about the Deschutes County Fairgrounds is that it's in this big flat plains area near like an airport, and the winds get pretty bad.
It's horrible.
In the summer, it's usually okay, but on this show, it gets really windy. And so we have 6 sandbags, 50-pound sandbags that hold our tent down. And usually they give us like these cement barrels to tie down to as well to be safe. They forgot this year. And so we took the like 2,000 pounds of corn and sugar though that we have sitting on this pallet, and we ratchet strapped the tent
Yeah.
to it. So we were well tied down. But while we get everything set up totally good, and we notice, oh no, they didn't set up till the next day, right? No, they started.
No, they set up that.
No, they showed up the next day. They weren't even there. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Other people are setting up, right?
Yeah.
Across the way from us, we get there the next day thinking everything's really nice. You know, we've got, it was sunny yesterday, even though it was cold.
'cause we were doing a bunch of pre-popping and stuff.
Yeah. And before the show starts, we're pre-popping a bunch of corn, expecting like a really busy day, and it's really cold.
Very cool.
And it's mostly cloudy, and we're thinking, okay, maybe it's going to snow a little bit today on the first day of the show. Whatever, you know, it's Thursday. The first day is not the biggest day anyway. As long as we have a good day Saturday and a good day Friday, it doesn't matter. But it does kind of start to snow, big snowflakes. And
Yeah.
we're like, okay, this is going to be a bummer. There's a barbecue pit place across the way from us, just like 3 booths down and over the little pathway. And they're trying to get set up.
Yeah.
We have a 10 by 16 pop-up tent that's like a more substantial pop-up tent than like what you would just buy, like a 10 by 10 you buy at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Those like flimsy ones. These guys were setting up 2 of just like, they look like Ozark Trail
Like-
10 by 10 pop-up
Like
tents.
off-brand easy ups, real cheap.
Yeah. Like ours is an easy up, but it's got like the nicer frame to it, and you
bit
know,
sturdier.
and even if it gets rained on, it can hold
Yeah.
hold the weight for the most part. Eventually, it's going to give out, I'm sure. But they were setting up 2 of these, and I was like, ugh. I've done a lot, not just since Susie Q's. Like growing up, I've done a lot of this type of thing, and I'm just kind of looking at it like I really hope that they are okay, because I'm noticing no sandbags, like 2 pretty flimsy tents with like flimsy walls on them. Like I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're working, so I'm only seeing it every now and then. As we're popping, eventually one of them comes up and goes like, "Hey, we forgot salt. Can we borrow some salt?" So they borrow some salt from us. They were very nice. They ended up not eating the salt. They brought the salt back. And then as the day progresses, it's like we're a few hours now into the show actually going.
And then the wind.
The wind is like tearing through. So our tent
like
is...
we feel it like
Oh, yeah.
constantly.
Our tent is like...
We've got everything pulled away from the wall. Like when like all of our like corn and stuff was even like oddly like packed because there's so much wind blowing on the walls.
And also it's snowing.
Yeah.
These big
And
flakes. And so wind is coming in. Snow is like every now and then snow will come down and the wind will hit and it'll just blow it into the
Straight
tent.
into
So
us.
it was bad. I mean, it's certainly no blizzard, but like for the date, like when it was weirdly cold. And like it felt like it was the middle of winter when it shouldn't have been. And it was bad for us, but our tent was holding together. I look out over there, their tent like bent in places like where it's supposed to, like those X beams, you know, those are like bent
And
in,
when one of
tearing
those
the walls
bends,
off. A
the
bunch of
entire
pieces of it were broken. They're like zip tying it together. They were borrowing duct tape from us. And
They're
twist
holding
ties.
it down because they have nothing to like hold it down.
And then every now and then a customer will be up and be like, "Can I buy something?" And they're like, because snow is getting in their fryer and
yeah,
stuff.
and
like,
they have this massive gap in between them already, which
between
is
the
right
two tents.
over their fryers and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's
So,
just snow coming down.
this
on
isn't
them.
to like
No,
dog on them.
no.
This is like they didn't. Who would have expected horrible weather like this? Also, I don't think that they have maybe just as much experience with events like this. Like you don't usually want to use, you know. But here's the thing: I've been doing this kind of thing with my dad for years. We have been them. We have been in the almost exact same situation, except for the weather. And I have had so many things that I've done where it's like, oh, we didn't think this all the way through, and this happened or that happened. So seeing that, I immediately am like, okay, we got to help them, you know. And so we were offering everything we could to them. Like we gave them some zip ties, some duct tape. And I think, well, their thing keeps getting lifted up. So I went and filled one of our empty oil jugs and took them a propane tank. And I filled it with water, the oil jug, not the propane tank. And so that they could have stuff to tie down to. And we're doing whatever we can. And the people at the fairgrounds had told them, like, hey, we're going to get you one of our nice tents, like a rental store tent that you have to like set up, you know. Like, we'll get you one of those, but we can't get it to you till tomorrow. And they're like, well, we still got to make it through like the next 8 hours of today. And then all the snow that piles on overnight. And like, what are we supposed to do? Well, that show, when we were cleaning out the truck before leaving, we always have 2 tents in the truck. And one of them is only in there because we use it for one event all year. Literally one event. And it's the county fair at this fairgrounds. But for some stupid reason, I leave the tent in there. And I'm always like, every show I go, we don't need that. It's just taking up space. I should take it out. And this one, right before leaving, I go, that's in here. Why do I always let it take up space? I should take it out. And I forgot. Thank goodness. Because I went over there and I was like trying to help them put the thing together and fix it. And they're like, their boss had left at this point because he was there, and then when it kind of tamed down before it got this bad, he was like, well, we don't need this many employees.
Yeah.
I think we're losing the video.
Yep, camera just died.
Bye, guys. Okay, where were we?
The camera cut out. Sorry, everybody. Mostly sorry to Tim that he has to scrub through some test footage there now and fix that.
Sorry, Tim.
Not sorry.
But I don't exactly know where I was.
You were at the Deschutes County Fair. You had packed an extra tent, even though you had intended on multiple occasions to take the extra tent out of the van.
But he forgot.
But he forgot.
For whatever reason, I forgot. And it made me think, hey, I'm pretty certain I have this extra tent in the truck. Crazy idea. Why don't we offer it to him?
Ludicrous.
For them to use. Ludicrous, right? Jude's favorite rapper. So we. I don't know anything about him. He's probably really inappropriate.
No, I bet
Let's
he's
not
a
support that
strong
one.
Christian man.
So the truck is like parked way far away from where we are.
So, yeah.
And I went over to him and I was like, hey, you know, obviously all the things we've tried to do, they're not working. And the people that were left, oh, that's what I was saying, was that
The boss.
the manager, or the owner had left. Because it wasn't quite this bad. And he was like, hey, you guys can handle it. We don't need 5 employees here or something. And he left the 3 girls. He took his girlfriend with him and just left these other 3 girls there. And
then
so, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just like
It was like right
that's
after
when
he left.
all
that he
of
got-
the wind started going in. Like it had already been snowing, but like
And their tents
they
weren't in
were
great shape.
they were like holding it, and it was already bending. And with those kind of tents, the moment that one part bends, the entire tent is doomed to just.
So we were
be
over there
destroyed.
trying to help them, and I was like, well, hey, we have a tent like ours that you guys can use if you need it. And the other 2 girls were like, no. And the one girl that was just taking charge was like, yes, whatever you have to help us, we will take. She's like, pride out the door, or pride goes out the window. We'll take whatever help you can give us. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I took the dolly back to the truck and grabbed the tent. She helped me carry it, and then we went the wrong way. So we carried the tent up these stairs and had to carry it right back down the stairs because I tried to save us some time, which ended up costing us more time. And I ended up just pushing the tent on the dolly the whole way. It was exhausting. But that was my fault. And then we get the tent there, we set it up, and it worked great. Like they were able to tie it down. The wind was still pretty bad, but not bad enough that it mattered. It covered their stuff. They were able to use it.
they still had to have one of their rickety ones in the front, like.
But it was much better.
But it was like because they didn't really have to cover anything besides like where they would hand out food.
So I guess what the thing about it that I wanted to mention was obviously, like I don't mean to tell the story and be like, hey everybody, we're great because we helped these people. That is certainly not it. What I want to bring attention to is while we were offering help, like when we first offered them help with like, here's some duct tape, here's a bunch of this, here's stuff to weigh your tent down. They kept saying, you know, thank you, of course, right? And it was like, yeah, I mean, we're both vendors here. We kind of got to stick together. But also, I've been in situations like this, if not worse. Like, I know how it is. And you guys seem like you got completely sidelined with all of this. You know, it was right after their boss left, and it just felt really bad. And also, I'd be a monster to just stand by and watch. But then it was clear that everything we're doing isn't working. Well, I have a tent that they can use. Why not let them use it? But when we were walking back there to get the tent, the one lady, I don't remember her name.
Sam.
Samantha, that's right.
Yeah.
She was like, she just kept saying thank you over and over and over again. Like, thank you so much. Well, not like over and over and over again for a 10-minute walk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But she was regularly saying thank you. You know, this means so much to us. Thank you so much for helping. And I kept saying like, yeah, of course, no problem, you know, whatever. But, well, I mean, it kind of got annoying. I mean, like, just to keep saying, yes, of course, you know. And so when she said it, like the last time, I was like, yes, of course, it's absolutely no problem. Like I couldn't just sit by and watch you guys suffer, like when I knew I had something that could help. And she was like, well, a lot of people could. And I was like, no, they couldn't. No, like, and she's like, no, people will absolutely just walk by and be like, well, sucks for them. Keep, you know, let them suffer a little bit. Even if they, I mean, a lot of the people walking by don't have a way to help. Yeah. But she's like, I'm sure plenty of people walk by all the time and go like, oh, I could help in some way, and just not going to. And my initial reaction was like, okay, no, of course not. There's no way anybody would do that. And then in a prideful way, I started thinking about myself because I was like, because I wouldn't do that. You know, because like I can get very prideful about how much I know that I love to help people, because I do. I absolutely love to help people. But I have to say at the same time as saying that is, if I'm someone that loves to help people, then that's really, really bad how often I know that I don't. So if there's plenty of people that she's saying that are out there that like could help people and don't, and I, as somebody who I believe about myself that I love to help people, No, it just made me think a lot about, like, first, if I'm given the opportunity to help someone, I think most of the times I will. And in this situation, I absolutely felt like we needed to, because there was nothing that they could do about their situation. And her and I kind of talked about that. We were walking. She was just like, plenty of people wouldn't. And I was like, I think that that's sad if that's true about the world. Like, the world that we live in, there are people, and this was a fairly bad situation. I mean, nobody was dying over it, but like, it was bad. And if people just walk by and they don't feel the need to actually be kind to one another and to do what they can, and then, it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, well, that is not a worldly thing to do, though. Like, the worldly thing to do is to just go, well, would be an inconvenience to me to help these people, or I'm risking the integrity of my tent because my tent could be torn or something could break it or whatever, but as believers, we are called to put other people before ourselves, right? And to put people above ourselves and make them more important than us, and to serve them. And so then, all this is kind of dawning on me. I'm just thinking about it. And I don't know, it's not like anybody listening or any of us need to be told that the world is bad and that people are innately depraved and self-serving, because we know that to be true about ourselves quite often, right? But sometimes it's just surprising how readily apparent it is to people that it's just normal for people not to care. And that's kind of what, like, I walked away being like, man, we have to change that, right? And I think that that's huge for believers to be like, it's something that my grandpa talked about on the episode he was on. It was like just being kind to people, but not just people but like being kind to people. And so I think it's really, really sad that I think she believed that it was like, no, she was like, you are the odd one out, or like, you guys are the odd ones out. Like, people don't just help people. And it was crazy to her that we were going to such lengths to help her. And I think it's like it's of course the right thing that we should be doing, is to be helping people like that. And so, I was kind of waiting the whole time for a good opportunity to talk to her about Christ. And so I was like, well, I believe that, because she kept saying, she was like building me up. She kept saying, like, you are such a nice guy. Wow, I can't believe you did this. Like, you guys are so kind to do that. And I was very uncomfortable with it when it was getting too far about me being some wonderful person. So I said, well, it has nothing to do with me. I believe that I'm called to live differently. And then she just kind of didn't comment on it. And it felt uncomfortable because I said that, and then she was like, wow, that's amazing. Wow. And then just kind of moved right on. Well, then she asked me some other questions, but that were just completely in a different field. But then it was just like, I think you had more opportunity actually to talk to her about why we do things, because then when we helped them, they set up the tent, and then the next day they give the tent back because they got the better one. And then the cool thing about helping people in that way is you really do solidify a connection with them too. And so you get a great opportunity then to be a witness to people. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're willing to help people often, like, I think people will be surprised by that. I don't know. I guess my whole point in saying all this is just like, it immediately surprised me how fervently I think she believed what she was saying. That like nobody would be willing to help us in this way. And then I was like, well, then why am I doing it? Well, I know why I'm doing it, because God tells me to do it. And right, like, while we were still sinners, he first loved us, and we are called to put people before ourselves. And obviously we need to be living that and demonstrating it for people to see. And then people are going to be surprised by it. And then hopefully they will ask us why. But even if they don't ask us why, we need to be ready to tell them why and continue to live that out. But she asked us why, Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk about that at all. But.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was able to share, more about like the gospel and like who we are and what we believe and why we needed to help. And yeah, it was good. Good conversations were had out of it. And like she talked about some stuff that was going on and just craziness of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to have really good conversations with her, and a few of the other people that were also working with the tent. Yeah, it was really, it was good. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think so. When we were doing it though, when we first started helping them, it was like just right. Like we both talked about it. It felt like such a no-brainer. Like, of course we have to help these people.
Yeah.
So the thing that challenged me about this is like, when we talked to Gaga about this, he was like, "Hey, how often do you see like a homeless person and go, oh, I'm going to help that person, right?" And this is kind of like a Sunday school message to be pulled out of this, but in sincerity, like, as believers, we often will say, of course, we have to help people, but then we do make an excuse when it comes to people who are homeless. We'll often be like, well, we're not going to give them money because we don't know what they're going to spend the money on. And so we find other ways to help them, right? But do we really, though? Like, my question for you guys is, because I know the answer for me, but do you guys find yourself, like, when you know you have opportunities to help people like that, actually helping them? I don't mean to just call people out and be like, okay, we're terrible, but do we?
No, not nearly enough. And I think I have the right to speak for like all of us, right?
What gives you that right? I'm just kidding.
We're very similar humans, you know. Instead, we use that as an opportunity as an excuse not to help, rather than an opportunity to find a different way to help. We just go, well, I don't know what they'll spend the money on. So.
Yeah. And then instead of doing the work and trying to find another way to help them, or still just going, you know what, giving it up to God. I mean, if you look at somebody and go, oh, he's doing heroin right now.
Yeah, discernment.
Like in front of me, discernment is important. But if you go, you know what, I don't know this person's heart, and I'm probably severely overjudging them by just assuming that I don't know what they're going to do. And I think because there are some real examples of people that we shouldn't do that with.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. Did I cut you off?
Cut me off?
Did you cut me off?
Did you cut me off? I didn't think you did. I thought we were... I do have an observation, though.
Fighting each other?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Observe.
I love that you got the chance to talk to him, because I think it goes to show, like it's obviously important when you see people in need. Like you said they were at a barbecue place?
Yeah, it was like brisket and...
Oh,
dude, they had
that.
such good brisket.
It's so important too when you see people in that position, or in any position or need of like help, like you're saying, like who are suffering, for us as Christians to reach out and help them. Because assuming X, which is, if you're a Christian, you are living your life for God and trying your hardest to align your life with God's plan for your life, then that means the interactions that you have, however large or small, are interactions that are along the path that God has set for you. So how much more important is it that you help these people because God could have put them there knowing that they would interact with you so that he could work through you.
This is very Calvinist of you.
I know, it's very predestined,
Yeah.
if, but if we are more closely aligning ourselves with God's plan for us, how much more important are those interactions where we could then help someone, because it means God could have put them there so that they would interact with you because he wanted you on his plan. So I'm glad that you had the opportunity to speak to him, because I think it brings to light the importance we have as believers.
Yeah, I think that because I walked away from it too being like, man, I wasn't bold enough, and I didn't talk to her enough about why I was doing it. I was trying not to be, like, it's just we all know it's difficult sometimes to just be bold, right? And so I was like, well, I'll say it in kind of a surreptitious way. So I was like, well, I believe I'm called to live differently. And then I hoped that would go somewhere, and then it kind of didn't. And then I didn't go find another opportunity to talk to her, but I was glad that you did. And one thing that made it easier too is her husband works, I guess, for for Sony, and he's like worked on some video games. So there was a good connection there to talk to her about Christian influence. And I think you gave her one of the cards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her husband might have joined. I mean, that was the goal with giving her the card. He might have joined the Discord, and I don't know. But, and I think she had said that like her husband is a Christian.
Yeah.
So that's good. But, yeah, I think the real big applications for me that I walked away with were being like, well, here's more, I feel reaffirmed in knowing that it is right to just help people for the sake of helping people. I mean, we know that to be true, and to serve people. But then most importantly, when you do that, it is a really, really good opportunity to talk to them about why. And I think like we talked about on last week's episode, which for us was just a few days ago, but we talked about how we kind of reiterated that God still uses our missed opportunities for good, right? The times that we don't serve him in just a perfect way. And we don't just like, maybe we just kind of lay a seed and we don't water it or whatever. He still uses them. And of course he does, because if he didn't, then nothing that we do for him would get used, right? Because we can never do it just perfectly. And so it is good knowing that even though I feel like I should have done more, I know I should have, been bolder, and I should have talked to her more, and that you did, but I think that both of us should have, that God can still use that, and that maybe someday, they'll think back on that and go, oh, you know what? Maybe she has a poor opinion of Christians and thinks maybe I was wrong about them or whatever. Who knows, that it's just, that it's right to serve. But so obviously it affirms that like it is worth it to help people, even if we never see the difference made. It is just worth it to be obedient to God. But yeah,
It was also a crazy busy weekend for us.
it was. Yeah.
After that first day, like was it Friday or Saturday that we literally could not stop?
It was Saturday.
Like, and they had like come over and like needed help, but we literally had like nothing to give because
Yeah.
we were just go.
Yeah. No, that was nice. Yeah, so I think just the big application here is be looking for opportunities to serve people, because that's what Jesus did, right? And then when people ask why you're doing it, tell them, because God tells me to do it, and because he has served me. The God of the universe chose to serve me, and that's radical. And I believe that I should serve people, right?
Yeah.
But that was my little lesson in it that I walked away from. And the thing with it that stuck with me is like, I found it very easy to help these people that were in need because I felt camaraderie to them. I was like, oh, I can see myself in them. Like I've had this same or similar situations. And like, that's part of the reason I told them that I was helping them. It's like, yeah, we got to kind of stick together. There have been times I wish somebody was there to help me and there was nobody there. And then it's just been like, it's honestly stuck with me. And the times I've seen other people who I don't necessarily find as much camaraderie with, I've been convicted to be like, you don't have to see camaraderie with them to help them, which is interesting in a weird way. This whole like helping someone thing humbled me because I walked away going, I've been very prideful. I think of myself as someone who's always like, I love to help people. And I do it because I do love to do it. But then I've been like, man, I believe that about myself. And there are plenty of people I regularly, whether I realize it or not, am just choosing not to help. And probably for stupid reasons. Either just out of convenience or because I might be uncomfortable. So it's absolutely challenged me to be, and it's because none of us are perfect, right? And none of us are done. There's also like, sometimes I think about it like maybe some of our best traits, maybe we've maxed that stat out and now we can work on the other ones. No, none of our good stats are maxed out and they never will be.
Yeah.
In this side of eternity.
You can't reach the end.
Yeah. And so like, just even if it's true that I'm a helpful person, perhaps, certainly not maxed out because I'm not always helping everybody. And so it's convicted me to be more helpful to people. And like people I see on the side of the road that are sad and broken and have nothing, I'm just trying not to think about, it doesn't matter what got them there or if it's their fault or someone else's fault or whatever. It's like, be discerning, yes, but if you choose to help somebody like that, you're giving them up to God, and that's in God's hands. And obviously, yeah, like you see them doing drugs at that very moment, or they're like itching and, like, okay, maybe don't give them something to make their situation worse. But man, give them some water. Like, it's made me think, like, you know what? I think I'm going to keep a case of water in my car at all times now, because if I see people like that, yeah, I think I want to pull over and like give them some bottles of water or something, because like that's something you can do for those people, but yeah. And it's not something I really thought about a whole lot before. And when you're in church and the pastor's like, do you guys help homeless people? Like in years past, I've always been like, well, I would, but it's like, I just never know what they're going to do. It's like a stupid excuse.
Come up with the best excuse you can.
Yeah. And even if I think that I was just like forcing myself to believe that, well, it would probably hurt them more than help them. It's like, wow, I'm really not trusting God then, am I? I'm really not trusting God when he tells me to put other people above myself and to serve them. And then I believe that by doing that, in this case, that God won't do good with it? Yeah. That's pretty disrespectful. So that's how it stuck with me too. Now, 4 or 5 weeks later, I still think about it every now and then. And I'm like, well, I found it easy to help them. I really need to find it easier to help other people too. The ones that I don't find it easy to help. So, yeah.
Be bold and behave boldly.
Ooh, be bold and behave boldly. Yeah,
Be
I like
bold,
it.
help them, and then don't back down about why you're helping them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
that's good. There's the episode title right there.
Be bold and bold be boldly.
Be bold and be bold, baby.
Behave boldly, and in your behavior, behave.
Bold.
Be bold, and you're bald. Be bald.
Be bold.
Behave boldly.
Be
bold and behave
boldly.
It's a lot of bees.
Yeah.
Be bold and behave boldly. Byron, you get to do that first.
Byron, behave boldly.
Byron.
I'm just saying, I don't want to shave my head, so you have to do it.
Byron, be bold and behave boldly.
Yeah.
If one of us is going to go bald.
Be bald and behave boldly.
We know I'm the one that's going to go bald first. We already know that.
Did we talk about that last episode?
No, I wasn't going to bring it up on the episode.
Well, you brought it up now.
I brought it up now.
This is a toupee.
No, it's not.
It is.
It
It's
is.
my real hair.
It is. We won't touch it just to
Yeah.
give
I'll
us some
touch it.
self-confidence.
It's my real hair.
No.
Nice job,
It's a
Tim,
toupee.
for making the toupee not fall off in post.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
job,
thanks,
Tim.
Tim. Can you put a CGI toupee on my head, please? It would look so bad. A PNG of a toupee, yeah. We just keep giving him more stuff to do. All right, I don't know if we're going anywhere else with this then.
No.
Unless anybody else has any more observations. It's a message that we've talked about before. Go ahead.
While you're talking about it, it's like I'm thinking about all the times that I've messed. Like, oh, I should have helped. Should have done
Yeah.
something. Should have done that. So, I think you can see the times that you don't do it, but you know you should or should have done something a little bit easier than all the times you didn't do it, but
Yeah.
you didn't know you should be doing it. There's those times where you like feel the conviction. You're like, but I really don't want to.
Yeah.
Really don't know if that's would help.
Hindsight 20.
What if we lived our lives constantly thinking about how we could be helping people?
That'd be pretty good.
Wouldn't that be so different?
Be a gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Be like all the time, just like, I have to do this stuff that I have to get done right now. But how can I be looking for opportunities to help other people while I do it?
That'd be pretty cool.
Obviously, we're not going to, be perfect at that all the time. But man, things would look pretty different in our lives and in the people around us. Yeah. Think about that, listener.
Could you do that, listener? Once a day?
Yeah.
Once a week, even? Once a week, once a day, even?
What?
Think about how you could help someone in your life.
Yeah.
Are you convicted?
Yeah. What did Matt do last night at D&D? Guilt.
It's really hard to look at the speaking to the mic and look at the
It
camera.
is weird. You don't have to do that. Well, maybe it's because you're just tall. I'm like way down here.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I should probably sit up, huh?
Could you do that, listener
Yeah.
or
No.
watcher?
Listener.
All right. I think it's certainly not a message or it's certainly a message we have talked about before. They're like, be kind because it's the right thing to do. Be obedient because it's the right thing to do. Be humble. But I don't know. And we've talked about service, I'm sure, but I don't know how much we've just talked about like helping, just be a helpful person. And obviously that is an act of service. But, acts of service can be a whole lot of things. But you know what? In everything, seek to glorify God in a really, really easy, well, I shouldn't say easy, simple way of doing it is if you're regularly in thought about how you can be a helpful person to people. So it's a great way to demonstrate the love of God. And then be honest and bold about the reason why you're doing it. So, cool. Nothing else? All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.
That's a good one.